Hey y'all, it's Rick here with Uncommon Communion. It is just a little bit after midnight, so a difficult day has ended. I did want to share with you a little bit to follow up on the video that I made on Wednesday, the emergency video. And I also want to share with you what I was going to share for my Wednesday message before the events in Minneapolis transpired. So let us begin, as we always begin, by recognizing, realizing, celebrating, and affirming that we are always and everywhere in the holy presence of the more and each other. I hope that this video looks a little better than some of the other ones. I have gotten one of those ring lights that I see all those, internet influencers using, and I hope it looks better. And I'm going to start using that. So, been doing this long enough now. I think I gotta up my game a bit. So I hope you watched my video earlier. Quite a few people did, and that is wonderful. I was a little hot, and boy, talk about a hot take. I don't think I've done a lot of hot takes like that. And I got to be honest, y'all, anger for me is a good thing. And I don't think I said anything I regret. I don't think I said anything I didn't feel and believe in that moment. And even in this moment, 12, 15 or so hours removed. I do want to say, though, how absolutely aggravated I am and completely not surprised that the MAGAites are focusing not on the children and the lives and the absolute carnage that we are seeing again and again and again, but they're focusing on the very mentally ill. And if you look at some of the things that they're reporting on them, this was a very disturbed, very sick individual. And this MAGA right, these MAGAites are focusing on the fact that they were transgender, that they were identifying as a woman. And y'all, I'm tired, so I can't rage like I did earlier today. But this is just so wrong and sick and such a part of the scapegoating that side, that evil perpetrates again and again and again. And ultimately, y'all, and I think we need to call this out for what it is. It's a distraction. It is a absolute shameful, evil, cynical, inhumane distraction. Because there are some on that side and people that are influencers, people that get attention, who are as angry and confused as I am, as we all are. And yet the way they respond is so wrong and sick and inappropriate. And again, I hope that those people could get marginalized. I know that even talking about them here is giving them oxygen, but we have to call this out, y'all. Silence is deadly. We have to be careful to not give them too much attention, too much lip service, but at the same time, to completely ignore it is denial. And we got to look it in the face. So that's the first piece. And my heart continues to go out in prayer to those families. We will see as tomorrow dawns, what the president, the dictator in chief, T. Rump, what he does further on this. And I hope he does well. I hope that this leads to change and to a reckoning and to just looking at ourselves. And sadly, I don't believe it. I'm not hopeful that it will. So I wanted to share with you what I had planned to share with you. I was very excited actually to share this with you. And it is this. There's a group called, you probably haven't heard of them. They're called Public Service Broadcasting, right? Look them up. They're an English post-rock kind of flavored band. And they are known for doing these kind of documentary uh, works, these thematic albums that use voiceovers and use audio from a historic time period, accompanied by music that they have composed to try to tell a story through words and music and so forth. And I had heard of this band. Their most recent work is about Amelia Earhart and her story, and it's really quite good. And it's one of those things you listen to in entirety from start to finish. But this morning, the algorithm gave me a song, a piece from them that I had not heard before, and the piece is called "Go." And I'm going to put a link to it here in the notes. And I love it because it's about the space race. It's from an album, a work that they did called "The Race for Space." And as you listen to it, it's audio of mission control for Apollo 11, telling that systems are go. And it's interesting because as the song goes on toward the end, they encapsulate the moon landing, Apollo 11 and Tranquility Base, the Eagles landed is part of the audio. And then the same voices of mission control say stay. So you have go at the beginning, all systems go, and then you have stay. And I think it's just really wonderful. And, I was, again, excited to share this idea of go and the boldness that is behind this and underneath this and the memory that there was one time not that long ago. People are still alive. Our elders, our boomers, are they remember this. They remember Kennedy and the album that Public Service Broadcasting does, The Race for Space, starts with Kennedy's words, to space. And one of the pieces on it is Sputnik and Yuri Gagarin and how that, influenced the American race for space. And there was this time where we had this vision and we had leaders that could call us to this vision, this great vision. And we succeeded. And then we let it go. The thing that is staggering to me is that the years that Apollo space program was going on were basically the same years that the Vietnam War was going on. So we had this great call that America was doing, racing for the space. We are the only nation that has put human beings so far on the moon. And that's amazing. That is astounding. That is singular. And yet at that same time, we were murdering human beings in horrible ways with napalm and Agent Orange and doing devastation to an entire generation of veterans and so forth. So those two things were going on. And I guess that's, our American story, right? We have these parts of us that are in conflict, that are in tension. And we have to ask those questions like President Lincoln asked, what are our better angels, right? Are our better angels going to rise or not? And we are at a critical moment, y'all. The murder of these children in a church while they were praying today, but in an environment that is supported by a political movement that has a fascist, religious, theocratic undergirding and support is so dangerous and so much of a crisis. And yet here we are. So many of us are still asleep. And even things like today can't shock us out of our slumber. I want to close with the reading of some lyrics of a song that this juxtaposition or this tension between the mass murder, the murder today, the mass shooting, and the increasing daily fascist dictatorship that is rising in the US with the space race and the go piece, it brought me to a piece by a group called Drive-By Truckers. I know it's a funny name. If you've never heard of them, I really encourage that at least you listen to this song, and if not, listen to more of them. They're in a unique genre. They are a Southern band, unabashedly from the South, and they're a storytelling band, kind of a almost spoken song, spoken word band. And in this piece, which is 10 years ago, I think it came out right after T. Rump was first elected. This piece is called "What It Means," and it's I think the feeling that many of us were feeling at that time. To see this rising, to see that T. Rump could get elected the first time. What does this mean? And this is the last verse, and I think it's again apt for where we are on the precipice of AI. Thinking it's a long shot at this point about going to Mars, going back to the moon. Those plans are underway. But this is the last lyric of Drive-By Truckers, and we'll end with this and then the Serenity Prayer, because I don't know about you, but I need a prayer. I've been praying today, and I need all the prayers we can say. So here's what Drive-By Trucker says. And again, I'll put a link to this song, to both songs that I mentioned. Astrophysics at our fingertips, and we're standing at the summit. And some man with a joystick lands a rocket on a comet. We're living in an age where limitations are forgotten. The outer edges move and dazzle us, but the core is something rotten. We're standing on the precipice of prejudice and fear. We trust science just as long as it tells us what we want to hear. We want our truths all fair and balanced, as long as our notions lie within it. There's no sunlight in our asses, and our heads are stuck up in it. And our heroes may be rapists who watch us while we dream, but don't look to me for answers, because I don't know what it means. Listen to it, look them up. I mean, these lyrics are more prescient today, when we are demanding that the Epstein files be released, because many of our heroes are rapists. Yeah, when those names come out and we see which men had sex, rape with young girls, it's going to blow us away. And we have to fight, because the truth demands to be heard. Because when we squelch the truth, it doesn't go away. It just metastasizes and becomes even more rotten. So let's close with the we version of the Serenity Prayer. I said this on Wednesday morning with my sponsor, and I'm so glad that I did. And let's say it to end essentially Wednesday night, although it's actually Thursday morning. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thy will, not ours, be done. Blessing and good, be bold, be well.